And now, you're listening to the What Why Now podcast with DJ Scottos.
DJ Scottos.
DJ Scottos presents What Why Now podcast.
But what was that moment and what age were you when you went, do you know what, I need to do this? And how did you do it?
I always knew I needed to do it. I don't know. I know that sounds mad, but business is what my whole household lived and breathed business. You know, my dad particularly, he's a workaholic. You know, he is, as I said, he's a master of it. So I always had a feeling. I used to, like, from the age of 8 years of age, I used to sit on the wall outside my house. We had a big brick wall that went around the corner plot of our house. And I used to go out there and sell lemonade and sell like clothes and bric-a-brac stuff, you know, like stuff that was in the garage that my mum and dad had. I used to, when my sister was 2 years of age, so I could have only been 9, I used to go and knock on the neighbours' doors and offer to wash their cars for them and earn a £5 a time with a bucket. I mean, I was 9, you know, that's like Rocco's age. So that's like, I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman from a very young age. Yeah. And I just think it's something that's built within you. It's like in my blood. That's all I know. Yeah. So yeah. And then I think when I went to Turkey, I saw the salon of my dreams, this beautiful 5-story glass fronted building that had everything. It had a bloody florist in it. It had men's barbers. It had sunbeds. It had everything. It was amazing. And I used to go there every day and get my hair blow dried. But I actually got into the industry because I burnt my hair off. It was all in the press. Wow. And I burnt my hair off doing a home bleach dye kit. And I had no hair. Yeah, so I went into Tony & Guy with my hair in a bag and a baseball cap on, and I had someone sort of sort the colour out for me, and then a set of extensions put in. And ever since that, so 25 years ago, I've never not worn hair extensions. So I had to find a way to be able to wear hair extensions safely, because they can be quite damaging, you know, old fashioned, where you glue it all in and it rip your bloody hair out with glue. And I was like, I have to find an extension that I can wear so I can disguise how bad my hair is and wear it safely, it's not going to continue to damage my hair. So that was it. Was set to sort of.
Wow, I didn't know that. My research I did, Lou, I didn't find that bit.
Really?
No, I didn't find that bit in my research. That's my team over there, who's obviously can't see. To talk to you guys afterwards. But yeah, no, basically I didn't know that. So how lucky were you then?
My hair's never really been great since, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know. Yeah, just. But again, you know, because of the mental health, I'm compulsive. So I do crazy stuff. Like, people are like, oh, don't do that, Lou. You know, wait till the professionals that no, if I want it, that's it, I'll do it. So I am really cranky like that. I am so extreme and carefree. Like, I'm just like, oh, well, whatever. So it did really bother me. But then when I got the extensions in, I was like, oh, you know, I felt like I was quite happy, you know, even though my hair was terrible underneath. And I just looked to find, it was costing me a fortune. It was costing me, because extensions they'd glue them in and then they'd fall out. They were so crap. Yeah. So it cost me £100 a week, keep having an infill. I was spending all my money and Darren's money. And so I just said to my best friend, you've got to find a way to be able to fit extensions in my hair. She was quite good with hair anyway. I said, I'm going to buy a glue machine and we're going to figure out a way that you can put extensions in my hair to save money. And then we just really got into it. Like, we started learning all different methods, and we saw like new technology that was coming out, like cold fusion, which was like a machine that did it cold, like ultrasonic waves. It would melt the glue in and it didn't damage the hair. Then a brand called Easy Locks came out. I trained with them. I saved up £2,000. Everyone was like, Lou, don't waste your money. But I was like, no, it was Katie Price again that I saw was their kind of like ambassador, if you like. And Bianca Gascoigne was as well. And I was like, these extensions are amazing. So I flew out to Dublin, trained with them, and kind of replicated their kind of method, which was not their method. It had been one that has been around. It was a link that you put in your hair you put an extension in the link and you clamp it shut. But I sourced a hair that was as good a quality as what they were fitting from factories. And yeah, just literally from there, it went from strength to strength. And I just started to absolutely smash it. Like, opened up a salon because home got so busy. You know, there was people queuing up on the street waiting to come in.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, my landlord was like, you can't do this from home anymore. I said, what do you mean? I said, loads of people got home salons. It's not against the law. He said, yeah, but the neighbours are complaining. You know, you've got people queuing up and sitting on the wall and all of that. So he said, yeah, you can't have that, Louisa. So I was like, okay, I'll get a salon. And I found a really nice corner plot on the high street of Shoreham. And I thought, that's a great position.
When was that? What year was that?
That was 2013, I believe. 13 was when I first registered the business on my son's birthday, actually. Yeah. And then thought, oh, do you know what? I'm going to get this shop. It was like £1,000 a month. And I thought, oh, God, what am I doing? Yeah. But I can't operate from home. So I've got to do something. And the landlord was like, can I have your accounts? I said, I don't have accounts. I said, like, he's like, what's your income turnover? I said, I haven't got a clue. He said, but what have you got then? He said, have you got a guarantor? I said, no one would guarantor me. No, I wasn't obviously talking to my dad and stuff at that point. He said, have you got any money? I said, I've got a bit of money saved. I said, I can put a few months rent deposit down. I said, and here's my Facebook page. I think I had like 60,000 followers at that point.
Wow.
And he said, well, that's good going. So he had a little look into my Facebook social media and he said, you know what? He said, I'm going to take a chance on you. He said, I like you. You've got some deposit to put down. I can see you're following. I think you've got potential. And yeah, took me with nothing, no guarantor, nothing at all. And 10 years later, that 60,000 likes is now near, I think it's near 300,000, and then there's about 60 odd thousand on Instagram, and we've turned over significant profit. As I said, I'm not a money person. I don't like bragging and all of that, but from that little business that I worried about whether it'd make the rent, it's done incredibly well. It really has. So
it was only worrying moments where you might feel like you couldn't continue because of the pandemic, or
no,
just okay?
Everybody's so quick to like hate on Boris Johnson and all of that. I don't like to get into politics because I'm not politically minded, if you like. I'm really not. However, the government did really look after small and medium businesses. The bigger businesses, I think, were really in trouble. But, you got things like the bounce back loans, which I know, again, not quite what they kind of sold on the can, government backed and all of that. As it turns out, it's not quite what, you thought, really, which I think is a bit naughty. However, you got things like the government grants that were given to the shops. So rent was covered. We were very lucky, and my clients were incredible. They were still throughout lockdown putting deposits down. Now, I was like, well, we don't know when we're opening, but they didn't care. At that point, we've got a really nice client base, and whenever it was we were coming out of lockdown, our clients were making sure they had an appointment secured and that they were first in line to get their hair sorted, because everyone was falling apart at home, weren't they? You couldn't do anything. You couldn't get bloody a sunbed. You couldn't get your hair done. You couldn't, like, everyone. We were all like zombies, weren't we? Like, overgrown. So yeah, my clients kept supporting us, and we were okay, actually. COVID was as awful as it was for those that lost their lives and their family, which was just horrific. Business wise, we were looked after, so yeah, I can't complain.
So you've had obviously it sounds like the business has gone in a great direction, and do you want to share about your award that you won in, I think it's 2021?
We've won quite a few awards, So initially, when we opened up in the high street, the MP, Tim Lawton, and like the constituency, if you like, awarded us a conservation award for how the shop brought a different type of vibe, I suppose, if you like, to the high street, the way that it looked, because it's a really trendy looking salon. And yeah, it's like a bar. You all sit around a bar. It was built from, because of this, like how I'm sat now in my kitchen, where everyone used to come to my house and sit around the kitchen bar. I was like, I don't want to lose that. I don't want clients coming in sat in front of a mirror just with a stylist. I like the atmosphere and the vibe a bar brings, with people all interacting, all talking, and not feeling awkward. Like, who wants to go in and be sat staring at their face in a mirror for 4 hours?
That's true, actually. So basically what you're saying is you create like a more of a bar where people are getting.
It's a U-shaped bar. So imagine it, or a U or a C, however, so it's got 2 wings, left and right, and then a big long worktop going across.
A great idea.
Yeah. And I just, because for me, like, probably because of when I burnt my hair off, I going into a salon actually probably started from even when I was younger. When I was 7 or 8, I went to a salon that my auntie used to work in, and I had hair down to my bum, and they cut it off like a crew cut, like a boy. I mean, like a number 2. So I think, like, I squirmed in front of the mirror because I just knew that my hair was going drastically wrong at that point. And then obviously when I burnt my hair off, you know, as if you want to look in a mirror, like, at what you've done. So I just don't want to be sat staring in front of a mirror. It's awkward. If you don't like what you see, who wants to be sat staring in a mirror? So I got rid of all the mirrors and put a bar. We still get people walking in now saying, "Oh, just come for a drink." I'm like, we're a hair salon, you know, we're not. They're like, "Oh God, like, we thought you were a bar." But it works. It just, no one had done it. No one, I don't think, there's not many around. There's not really, only people I've seen that have done it is in Vegas and in America. So people.
That's a great idea.
Clients love it. They all talk to one another. If you're lucky, you get Katie Price as the star of the show in there most weeks, and she'll keep everyone entertained. There's prosecco flowing, you know, everyone's having their hair done. You know, they're just, all the stylists talk to each other. They're not just with their clients. So it brings a totally different vibe, and I think that's a big part of why it's been successful.
Yeah. What's it like winning like an award like that? And where'd you go for this award?
Oh, I didn't want to go, Scott. I got really told off by friends and family because I again, you know, being me, I was like, "Oh no, I don't want to go." They were like, you have to go and accept it. I was just, so things like that I find really awkward, but obviously massively grateful that they recognised how the salon had changed the high street. You know, that's a really nice thing. So that was our first award, and then we won 2 other awards: best hair, I can't remember what, I think they were, it was terrible, best colour salon, and best hair extension salon, I think, by another ceremony that we went to. We won 2 that night, I think, but yeah, or 3 even. Then the one that you're talking about in 21 was the Southeast best salon, but then that category you got, once you won that, you went to the best salon of the whole of the UK category, and we won that as well. So and we're up for it again this year, best salon in the country. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's amazing. See, for me, like that, it's like you talked about it earlier. That you know, obviously we go to work and we want to earn money and stuff, but sometimes, even though you don't socially like to go and pick up an award and do that, but inside though, that must be like kind of one of the big achievements to know that people recognize you and your business as being the best.
Oh, definitely.
What it does, that must be an amazing feeling.
Well, as I said to you, all of this has been, for me, the money's the cherry on top of the cake. You know, I truly believe in a business pattern, and we'll do more of these podcasts. I know that we're going to do more on business mentorship and stuff in the future, so I'll just touch on it. But for me, business should be about passion first, not the money. Like that's my mindset. The money is what comes in as the bonus. But if you do something because you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, that's what people buy into, because they've got to buy into you first of all. And if they think you're all about the money and it's greed and it's narcissistic, you know, me, money, I'll make you earn 10, you know, a 6-figure number within X amount of time. I hate all that. You know, my mum and dad are very humble people. They don't talk figures. You know, it's old school business. and it's old school etiquette. You know, I don't like, yes, we all like to have nice things. And at times throughout the 10 years, you know, I've joined certain organizations like network marketing, that kind of taught you to be a bit flashy and start showing off what you've got to kind of bring people in and capture their attention and make people think that, oh, I need a bit of that. But I hate that. You know, that's not me. That's not how I've been raised. And as much as it's nice to have nice things, nice home, nice cars, nice jewelry, that is the bio kind of, that's the end product of working hard, but working hard because you are passionate about what you do and you want to help people. And for me, that's what it's been about. Just, I want to help people. I want to make people feel good. I want to make people walk out and feel the best that they possibly can in their self-confidence. I want to give them the best service that they've ever had, the best experience that they've ever had, with the friendliest team, and actually genuinely care about, you know, our clients' welfare. Are they okay? What's going on? You know, spend the time with them. And that to me is the art of good business.
Yeah. So obviously people that you know that look up to you and they're quite inspired by what you've done. With regards to how your career, how the business and your career's gone, is there any advice that you give to somebody that's about to start now? And this other question would be, what has been the hardest part about running your business? Not your mental health and family, outside family stuff, but more like actual running the business. What's been the hardest part?
God, my short-term memory is terrible. So the hardest part, you'll have to repeat the other bit part, but I'll answer the hardest part. The hardest part, multitude of things, for me personally, teams, building teams. I'm good at it, but there's a lot of, again, I don't want this to get into like as if I'm pointing any fingers here or being bitter, but there's been a lot of people that have come and been and gone, that are not so transparent and honest, and they want to do and have what you have, and that's great. You know, we have a training academy. We train people to set up as competitors to us. So I'm not worried about competition, but I don't like dishonesty. I don't like when someone comes in and tries to take what's not theirs, you know. So I've had a lot of that over the years, and that's been really heartbreaking. And the slander that can come with that when you've actually stuck your neck out to help people and help grow them and teach them and give them ideas, and then they go away and they badmouth because they're jealous or whatever. That's been heartbreaking. I've learned to not care about that now. And in fact, I've had a very stable team for the last 5 years that have been with me. So I've had a different 5 years compared to the first 5 years, but that was definitely the hardest. The second hardest is behind the scenes stuff. So accountancy, facts, figures. I'm good at bringing the money in, but that kind of stuff, leave to my accountant, because that's very challenging. I've learned so much through falling down sometimes and making mistakes, because it's not been plain sailing. I can categorically tell you, you'd probably be quite shocked at some of the pitfalls I've had to kind of get over the years. But I've come back up, and you learn from those.
10 years as well. I think you've achieved a lot in 10 years.
As I said, if I went into even the ins and the outs of just that one situation, it would blow your mind. That's 4 years of absolute hell challenges, and enough to make most people, you know, give up. Most men, a lot of men, you know, and women, but a lot of men that just it's like life destroying stuff that you hear from men that, you know, can't. It's just not nice. So like, that's challenging. I think the other challenge would just be time, finding the balance. You know, running a successful business takes a lot of work, you know, as I said, not just opening and going in and doing the work. Luckily now I delegate a lot of that kind of side out to the team, but what goes on behind the scenes, and finding a balance of when to stop and know that you've got to live your life as well, and you've got to be mum, and you've got to have your life, because and that is something I think I've overcome the financial side. I think I've kind of really got to grips with running it well from the backside and having really good accountants and bookkeepers behind me and a very good team up front to manage all of that kind of stuff. I have a very good team stability now, so I've overcome the jealousy and the hating and all of that kind of crap. I've learned how to cope with that better, but I don't have a very good balance still. I do struggle with living my life. Like, life is very much work.
Yeah.
So
No, I hear you. And so what advice would you give to somebody who is watching this and would love to get in and do what you do? Thinking about the ups and downs that you've had, what advice would you give to somebody about to start?
for a salon or any kind of business?
Let's focus on the salon.
Okay. Well, as I said, like, my ethos was always about just looking after the client, making someone feel special, giving them what they're asking for, hearing what it is that they want, and delivering on that. If you fail to deliver, and you've got an unhappy customer, even if it's one, I've always striven to make sure that, for me, every single client is happy. Now, you can't please everybody always, all the time, but as long as you do the absolute best that you can. So you can't leave people unhappy. You've got to make sure you try and resolve problems, because problems will always arise in business. There is no such thing as perfection. There always will be blips here and there. So looking after what you're building. I've always just thought being kind, giving people your time. But I think social media is a big thing. I built my whole business off the back of social media. There was no walk-in shop, at that point to just people for walk past trade to walk in. And actually, even when I opened my business, it was never that. I was quite surprised, actually. I was a bit panicked that the high street that we're on, the footfall wasn't really there where you're going to get people just walking in off the street. It was all pre-booked appointments. So social media platforms are vitally important to make sure you're capturing interest, and that you're getting your work out there, that you're displaying your work in a certain way, you're promoting it in the right way. The deals are so important, being competitive with your pricing. So not only are you going to offer something that's desirable, that's at the top end of whatever it is you do, whether that's lashes or hair colouring or extensions, but that work has to be, desirable because it's the best, the best looking work, but at the best price as well. So I've never kind of looked to be greedy with our pricing. We're not the cheapest, but we're certainly not the most expensive. And, as the years have gone by, we could have increased prices. And actually we haven't. We've kept them really competitive. Always looking around competition. Again, I don't try to focus too much on competition, because I think it can be quite a negative impact sometimes, but it's also quite a positive one. It's always fired me up, because I am a very competitive person. So I like to look around, see what other people are doing, see what other people are offering, how they're doing it, and keep up to date with making sure we're on par, or if not ahead of that. And just making sure that you're up to date with, new technologies, never staying stagnant, always making sure that you bring new ideas in, new technology in, always making sure that you're keeping fresh, with your ideas. So I think that's really, really important. Again, what I said about mental health, just constantly educating yourself as much as you can. So.
Do you know what? You must have read my next 2 or 3 questions, because it was all around social media and competition. But actually, going back to social media, how important has it been to your business? You mentioned about deals and stuff like that, but what else does it bring to the salon?
Social media has been everything for my business. As you said, you mentioned about the amount of posts that go up. It's kind of unconventional how I do it, because whether you're an influencer, a celebrity, or a business, you know, you kind of mostly see a post a day, you know, like someone might put something on their grid. They might update their stories several times a day, but on the grid, they might just do a post a day. So a lot of people have said, you know, you put so many posts up, Lou, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 a day. You know, do you not think that's too much? But for me, that's just the way that I've always done it. You know, I'm quite an aggressive promoter. I do promote aggressively. I do promote consistently, and probably far more than the average person. Well, definitely far more than the average person on social media. But that's worked for me. You know, like that's there's a lot of work to promote. That's the difficulty. I've got quite a big team. There's different dynamics to the business. So you've got aesthetics, you've got lashes, you've got, the beauty side of stuff, you've got the hair coloring stuff, you've got the hair extension stuff, then you've got the hair training, the hair academy, you've got things like this, the mentoring, then you've got the social side, you know, the personal side, you know, my family life, me as a person, because as I said, people buy into who you are. They choose who they want to come and do business with. It's not by luck that people are walking through the door. It's usually by recommendation or by what they see. So you have to display that as well. I've always been very open with that side of my life. So there's a lot to post.
There was like, I counted on my hand there was about 9 areas of what you talked about then, and in the different parts of the business, including the mentoring, the training, and your personal stuff. There was about 9 areas. Do you do all your social media yourself?
No, I don't. I used to. It's my business partner, and I always call him my business partner. We had a second salon together up until recently. We've actually closed that down now. But she's a big key part of the business.
Right.
The girl that I spoke about earlier on, that I said, right, we're going to learn how to do extensions and you're going to have to fit my hair. So she's amazing. She is the extension educator, and she's the person when it comes to extensions, that she's the best that there is in this country. There's no doubt about that. And she helps me with a lot of that. But yeah, she's followed my pattern, if you like, of how I like it done. I'll always be behind her saying, right, we need to change this, we need to change that, we need to do it differently. So the ideas have always come from me, and she's kind of followed suit, really. But yeah, no, she helps me because it's just it's too big to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And which social media platform brings you the best success?
Used to be Facebook. Everything was Facebook. We were quite behind on Instagram. We were probably a few years behind, actually. At first, Facebook, we were probably one of the first businesses to use Facebook in a business promotion way. It wasn't happening. So again, I was ahead of the game with that, which really impacted how well we did with followers and bookings and things like that. And then, I mean, when I say beforehand, it was before even businesses would be paid, you know, doing paid advertisements that you see in the sort of right-hand column of Facebook. Even before that came out, I was promoting business before that. So yeah, we were a little bit behind on Instagram to join and get on the wagon of that. But Instagram now, probably, yeah. It's all streamlined into one, in the sense of, if we get an Instagram message, it goes onto a business suite messenger, and it all goes into all the Facebook pot as well. But Instagram is where the people look at the stuff, so predominantly.
And so yeah, no, obviously, like I say, I think if you get that sort of methodology right with social media, I think and you've got like a way of working, and it looks like you have, then you followed suit.
It's being relentless, Scott. I think
consistent. You would use the word consistent as well.
You have to be consistent. There's not a day off, you know. There's very rarely, even if I've been being wheeled in to have a C-section, you know, they've been taking, the doctors, the nurses, they take the phone off me, like, writing up now. It's literally that bad.
Yeah. We're very, very similar in some ways, like that, in that way that it's very hard to switch off. What do you like to do for fun?
I like to travel. That's my happy place. If I'm traveling or I'm on a holiday, then that's Louisa happy for sure. Travel, but obviously that's not always possible, sadly. As much as I'd love to travel, I see all these people traveling all the time. I'm like, oh, I wish that could be me. But Travel, being with my family is my happy place as well, whether that's my kids or my mum and my sister and their partners, and going out for nice food. You know, I love a nice restaurant, and love a theatre, love a show. But yeah, I need to kind of get back to having a bit more fun. I think the social anxiety has gotten quite bad since the birth of Gianna. So I don't tend to go out too much really, which is a shame. But I guess, yeah, that's kind of when you take the rough with the smooth. I think when I'm ready, I'll get back out there a bit more. But yeah, I need to probably have a bit more fun.
What do you do with your sort of team to have that element of mixture of work hard but then have fun at the same time, and find that balance and people being able to feel relaxed and feel that environment? And just what I'm talking about, like how do you find that right balance?
Team, you know, we're a very close-knit team. It's been the same team, as I said, for 5 years or so now, so we really all click, we all connect. It's probably the smaller side of the team that I've ever had. I've had teams up to 20 people at one point. Now we're probably just a team of 5 or 6, so it's much smaller than what it's ever been, but it works better, it's more intimate. We do all really connect, and they respect me, I respect them. We've done things like on my 40th, we all went to Cyprus. We all spent the week in Cyprus celebrating my birthday. We'll go for meals, and we'll always plan things. This month we're going to a soul festival thing up in London. So, but again, it's been hard for them because they haven't had so much time with me on a social level lately, because, you know, they respect that I've had the baby and I've been through what I've been through, and they just crack on and do what they do. And we have like a WhatsApp work group, and we talk individually, so we're very much connected on a social level as well. I kind of see them as, I know people probably say you shouldn't, but they are my friends, you know. They're people I really respect, you know, and they do a great job, and they follow my mindset of how I want things. So I respect that about them, because they, you know, they don't have to, but they love what I do, and love the salon, and love what they do. So it works.
Yeah. And you mentioned about it's slightly downsized a bit since over the period of time. Is that something that will change? You think that you'll sort of, that will go back, sort of get bigger again, or like what's your like
no
plans?
I hope not. Weirdly, I hope not. I had 2 salons, and we've just got a whole situation that unfortunately saw us have to close our other salon because of the building that's not suitable that we housed that salon in, which is a real shame, and yeah, a tricky situation. So kind of downsized in that sense, but that's a whole nother story for another day with that salon. It's been tricky. That was going to be aesthetics clinic and training, so we're housing it all under one roof at the moment. And I could maybe, you know, like, I'll never turn away if I'm always looking for good staff. So like if there's a good stylist walks in and all of that, I'd always look to grow it. And we probably do need an extra 1 or 2 people, because we are struggling a little bit with workload. I know that the guys that are there now are at max capacity, and they're struggling a bit. So we could do with an extra body or 2 here and there. But I like it. I like it how it is. It is intimate. It's not the biggest salon. You know, there's only sort of 6 working chairs around the bar, really. There's only enough room for that. And then you've got my clinic, but my clinic is just going crazy. So that, I think, will overtake the whole business of the salon and what the salon's built for the last 10 years. The clinic is, in the last 6 months, overtaking what 10 years worth of the salon has done. It's that big. So, and that's just me on my own with that.
What is the clinic, though, to people who might not be sure what that means?
The clinic is, you know, things like fillers, you know, lip fillers and cheek fillers and Botox to get rid of wrinkles, and skin boosters, you know, feeding the skin, and again, skin complexions and anti-aging treatments. So it's all things injectable, really, aesthetics. And I began that journey about 5 years ago as a practitioner. and it's something I'm really, really good at. That's my hands-on part in the salon. So now I'm not in the background as much doing just the business stuff. I'm at the forefront of that, and that's, as I said, that's become busier than the actual salon, financially and turnover wise, than the salon entirely. So and that's where, you know, I want to be doing all the business mentoring podcasts kind of associated with, you know, tips and tricks for people that are in that industry for injecting and building businesses. But yeah, so that's me on my own. I would potentially, if it keeps growing at this rate, I might have to bring someone else on, probably my daughter, if she's interested, or if not, somebody else that I can really trust that is good at injecting and take some of the workload off me, because it's getting quite hairy with the amount of bookings. So
okay, and then sort of like moving forward now a bit. What's the one thing you would want to change about yourself in the next year?
Oh, so a few things. I'd like to lose some weight. But
Same here, by the way.
as a person, yeah, I keep injecting myself with all this fat weight loss dissolving injections. They're pretty good, so they're helpful. But no, as a person, to get that balance, that's what I'm always striving for. I think that's what life is about, really. The secret to life is having that right balance. So being able to have you know, a better work/home life balance, and having the ability to just go out and like just literally get my stuff and leave the house without being worried about the OCD about cleaning and, you know, what's not right at home, and just going out and enjoying life. Because yeah, I think it's been a bit challenging to get me out of the house. If I'm not working, it's kind of hard to get me to go and just do fun things and lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm in quite serious mode all the time, I think, because of it's that fight or flight mode, isn't it? You know, where you're used to dealing with traumas, I'm constantly like looking for the next trauma that's going to come along. So I'm kind of quite tense a lot of the time. I need to loosen up a bit. So yeah, my goal would be to just sort of find a bit more contentment within, and just get out there, live life a little bit, because it can't all be business and work. You know, it's yeah, life is precious, life is short. So, but at the same time as well, we all got to work and pay bills. So it's finding that balance when you have that, you know, number over your head of what you've got to make to survive. It can be scary, and it's a lot. You know, as I said, I never talk numbers and figures, but for a woman single-handedly, in that sense, no disrespect to Darren, obviously he's amazing at what he does do, but there's no other income coming in. For me to have to meet the bills, there's a big number on my head, and that's quite
pressure.
That's a huge pressure, yeah. And that does cause me quite a lot of anxiety and depression sometimes, because I do worry. But it also, if I didn't have that, I'm somebody that works incredibly well under pressure. So I yeah, you know, I think, well, as they say, Scott, you know, diamonds are made under pressure. So I think, you know, amazing things happen when I'm under that pressure, but it does take its toll on me. So
yeah, and just a little bit maybe on the pressure. How do you deal with pressure? Somebody listening to this, like, who, you know, finds that really hard, or like, you know, is there any advice you could give?
Yeah. As I said, I'm good under pressure because I just keep going. Like, I am relentless when it comes to pressure. Like, I will not crack. Well, I probably will crack in private, but sometimes publicly. But I just won't give up. There's no giving up with me. No one's going to keep me down. I'm just such a survivor as a person. That's my mindset. But it comes out in really shitty, annoying ways, like the OCD, you know, like the cleaning and like the perfectionism. It's not just cleaning, but its standards are just so ridiculously high that for those around me, it can be quite hard, because I'll put the pressure on, and I can be kind of a bit miserable and like, you know, look, we've got to have it this way. It's got to be done that way. And I can be a bit of a nightmare to be around, because yeah, under stress, I just keep striving for better, like bigger results. So But as I said, I guess that's what makes the magic happen in a way, because I don't give up, and because I keep going, and because I have those high standards, it just keeps moving forwards and growing. So
Yeah.
I think that's the art of it, really, maybe.
And what are you looking forward to in the future, personally and professionally?
So personally, hopefully more holidays, more downtime with the family, just time to just switch off, even if it's, once, twice, a few times a year, to grab 3, 4, 5 nights away somewhere, just to switch off and just completely shut down from work. That's definitely a goal for me personally. Professionally, the clinic is obviously, the salon is always my focus, but the clinic is a big focus of mine. That's my genuine passion for what I do personally, with the injecting and what I'm actually currently doing. It's amazing. I love making people feel good about themselves, and there's some great things that we do within that clinic. So continuing to grow that. And for me, the podcasting side of stuff, actually, the business mentorship. So giving this kind of stuff, giving people advice, helping people grow businesses. So many people come to me all the time, every single day in the inbox, Lou, could you give me advice on this? Could you help me with, better techniques for that? So that's the kind of thing I want to do. So
yeah. What is the thing that you're most proud of in your life?
My family. Yeah. My family first. Yeah. My kids, my marriage.
And your dog as well. We forgot to mention he or she earlier. You got a dog in the background, who's barking. That feels like another child, doesn't it? Another kid in the family.
I've got 2 little Pomeranians. They're so cute. Yeah, they're so cute. But yeah, my kids and my family, everything. Family is everything to me. So
I'll set him off.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, family, without a doubt. I'm also very proud of myself, of how far I've come. Sorry, Scott, he could definitely hear us.
I know.
Yeah, very proud of my family. And sorry, very proud of how far I've come, because coming from suicidal situations is no joke. That's very, very deep and dark. It's something very close to my heart. Again, something I want to focus the podcasts to be about, because there's so many people suffering. There's so many people losing their lives because of this. And it's very, very close to my heart. And it's something I struggle with still to this day. So to kind of come from a hospital where you've been taken away and for your safety, and to have been able to have built something like this, and been a mum still and raise a family, I have to say I'm proud of myself, because there was times I didn't think I'd make that I didn't think I'd make it through. So
if you could go back and have a quick chat with your 18-year-old self, what would you say to her?
I would probably say, don't be so hard on yourself. That's what I'd probably say. Don't put so many pressures on yourself, because there's no such thing as perfectionism. Like, people think when they say, oh, I'm a perfectionist and all of that, it's like a complimentary thing, like, oh, you're a perfectionist. It's actually it's not necessarily a healthy trait to have always. So I think I would say, just take the pressure off, just accept things sometimes, accept who you are, and you're good enough, like, you don't always have to be everybody else. You don't have to look at everybody else's lives and think and compare and think that that's the life that you need to be living. Accept who you are, and take the pressure off.
Last question from me. How do you want to be remembered?
I would love to be remembered as somebody that cared about other people, that like tried to please and keep a lot of other people happy, and tried my best to yeah, just tried my best to keep a lot of people happy, that I gave my time to as many people as I could to help for no other gain, not financial, forget the business, forget the money, all of that. Like, because I genuinely give a shit about people and I care about, you know, life, and I know how precious it can be and how hard it can be when you're hard on yourself and you don't quite feel like you fit in or you're good enough. And I just want to be remembered for someone that cared and really tried to make a difference in people's lives. That's what I'd like to be remembered for.
And for only knowing you for a very short period of time and listening to what you've said, I think that you've already started to do that quite a lot. And it sounds like there's a lot of people working with you now that would, if I asked them that question, you know, what do you say about Lou and how they'll probably say that how you tried to help people, and you know, and I think that's an amazing way to finish, but also like the way we talk about the podcast. So, are there anything that I haven't asked you? Anything else you want to mention before we end this sort of podcast about your life story?
No, I mean, for me, this is one of hopefully quite a few more to come, very much focused on, because there's so many people within the business industry that focus on a figure. That's what I'm seeing out there. How I can help you earn X amount of money. You sign up to me and you pay me this amount of money, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. What there isn't a lot of is people that have made it and have made it through some really hard times, that can inspire other people that don't believe in themselves, that can make it and can do whatever it is that they dream about doing. And that's what I just want to, you know, try and do with these podcasts and mentorships, is to be able to, not for my financial gain, I don't want nothing from it. I'm just happy if people are interested in listening. You know, for some reason, some people out there are, which is a blessing. And I just want to try and inspire people that want to progress their life, that have difficulties within their life, which, let's face it, we all have difficulties one way or the other, but want advice, want help. I'm not here dangling any carrots. You know, sign up and subscribe to me and subscribe to us and subscribe to our show, and we're going to make you a millionaire and we're going to teach you this, that. But what I am wanting to do is show people how you can make it happen, in a kind, old-fashioned business sense. I
love that. I love that. And on that note, I've got to say, I've really, really enjoyed this podcast with you. I feel like you've got an amazing story. And it shows you that, you know, and this is why I like to do this, is because, you know, whoever entrepreneurs and successful people are in their life, it isn't easy. Everyone thinks they have this easy silver spoon moment that goes all the way, but it shows you the ups and downs you've had and brought you to where you are. So for me personally, I've really enjoyed it. You know, I think you should be really proud, really, really proud of yourself. Okay. And but this journey isn't over now.
That's actually, sorry to interrupt you, that's actually one thing I would like to say, actually, is because of the background I came from. As I said to you initially, nothing at all. They were homeless when I was born, but my mum and dad did make it. However, there was no silver spoon. Like, as I said, I don't have a relationship with my dad. I've never had any kind of financial backing. Like, I did it myself, you know, literally every single penny of it came from what I worked hard for and saved. Because I think there's a bit of a perception that some that might know me, like, oh, you know, her mum and dad are quite well off, you know, they're quite wealthy, you know, has she had the help? No, there's been nothing in that, in financial sense. You know, I've had a very privileged background, and I have I have both my parents are amazing. I have a great relationship with my mum, but it's been, I've been a go-getter for myself. That was instilled in me. If you want it, Lou, you go and get it. So
well done to you. And like you say, it hasn't been easy, and it's still a challenge for you. It's a battle for you every single day. And I'm thank you so much for sharing your story to people.
Thank you for having me.
The What, Why Now podcast.